Hello and good evening and welcome back to Talking Your Walk. And tonight's guest is Adam, also known as Ethereal and E. Now, this is a young chap who lives over in America, and I just love what this boy does because, he takes his handpan and he goes up and down America doing all sorts of amazing work, playing on the streets, playing for old people. Seen him do stuff with little children, playing his pan. So he's not one of these musicians that say, don't touch my instruments. He really does allow people to touch the handpans and he really gets them involved as well. And he also takes his pan into some amazing locations, into the wilderness, into side of lakes, to sunsets. The other week I sat and watched him doing an amazing set and this fantastic sunset as well. It was just glorious. So it was an absolute honor when he says, oh, I can come on and have a chat with you. I was like, yes. So welcome, Adam, and thank you so much for joining me this evening. And I know that it's lunchtime to you, it's bedtime for us nearly here in the UK. But can I ask, where were you born and brought up?
Yeah, so I am American. I was born and raised in a city called Cleveland. Have you heard of Cleveland before?
Ohio?
Yes, that's right, yeah. So it's a kind of a concrete jungle. It's an old steel town. So there's a lot of industry there, right on one of the Great Lakes called Lake Erie. And I actually was raised on a farm. I was the seventh generation to be brought up on the farm that I grew up on, right outside of Cleveland. And the 13th generation of my family to be here in America. So my family actually came from Essex County over in England, and right after the time of the Mayflower. And so I was a farm kid, and from the day that I could actually no, even before that, from the day that I was born, I was always on the farm working and being a part of the farm. So work has just been a part of my life. And, sometimes I think that it's probably been too much a part of my life. I think that I've focused way too much on work. And I'm really lucky that recently I've discovered music as work. And
Wow. So can I ask you, Adam, you're saying, you were brought up on the farm and you worked on that farm as many people usually do when they're born into a family that's got an existing business. When you left school, did you stay on the farm and work there full time?
Like you're saying, after I became an adult, after I graduated from high school? No, after I graduated from high school, I went to college. It was very important to my family that us kids went to college. And to be honest, I spent a lot of time, money, and energy investing into college and getting degrees. And here I am, a musician. This is my cat, Pickles. Here I am now, not using my degree, just playing music.
What was your degree in?
My bachelor's degree is in psychology, and then my master's degree is in social work. So I went on to after I got my degree in social work, I went on to become a therapist, mental health therapist, and then after that I started a career as an elementary school counselor.
And that's where you probably, where I can see you had a sort of affiliation with children as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So then you say you then get into music. So what brought that about? What was the catalyst there, or was it a gradual process?
Well, again, I guess my family had very, how should I say, strong values. And so it was very important in my family that all of us kids took piano lessons as small children. So we all took piano lessons, but I honestly can't remember how to play the piano at all. Besides the song from Jaws, da, 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 da. That's the only song I can play on the piano. But and I played piano until I was an adolescent, and then I uh, I was the kid that was always tapping on things, and I remember vividly. I don't know why, but I mean, this is, I guess, just part of who I am. I remember being in the basement of my home as a kid, and I remember getting ready to go up the stairs. And as I went up the stairs, I was wrapping my fingers on the stairs as I went up, and then I halfway through got over to the handrail, and I started wrapping my fingers on the handrail, and I was mesmerized by how it was a higher tone as you're closer to where it's fixed to the wall, and a lower tone towards the middle of the railing. And so, anyways, being that type of kid, my mom decided to put me into drum lessons. And so I was probably, middle school, maybe 11, 12 years old. And my mom put me in drum lessons, and I learned how to play the drum set. And after that, my teenage years, I got involved in a garage band with some friends. And then I also started playing the drum set for my church, for the worship team on Sundays. And so yeah, so I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
Okay, so that's quite a grounding in drumming, isn't it? From the church, to doing it in a garage band. So how did you get into the handpan? Was it something you heard, or was it something that you saw and liked to look of? How did that make an appearance in your life?
yeah. So I think that as a kid, when I was playing the drum set, it was always kind of an escape for me. I like to put on headphones and listen to music, and then just play the drums and just wail away on them and lose myself in the rhythm. Well, I went on to go be in college, and I lived in the dorms, and that was around the time when Dave Matthews Band was really popular. And so in the dorms, there was always somebody playing a guitar, playing Dave Matthews, right? And another guy had a djembe. You know what a djembe is?
The
And
one
so,
sitting over there.
yeah, okay. So I tried playing the djembe, and I loved it. And that's what got me into hand percussion. But then after college, I went on to get married and had a baby right away, and started working, started going to graduate school, and I just didn't have time for anything but just existing. And so music kind of fell onto the wayside. And then I ended up getting divorced a couple years later after that, and um, just really hit rock bottom. And I needed something to pull me out of it. And so I decided to get back into music, and I got myself a couple hand percussion drums, djembe, a cajon. I started going to church again, started playing at my church. I played drum set at my church, and that was just really, just healing for me. And then I was low on cash and in between jobs, and I started donating plasma. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing that for cash. And while I was laying there on the donation bed, I was flipping through YouTube videos on my phone, and I came across a YouTube video of Daniel Waples playing the handpan in a London subway. And my original thought was, wow, that's amazing. I've never seen one before. My second thought was, I can do that. And then my third thought was, I bet you that's my ticket into being a professional musician. So I wanted to be a professional musician, and so it took me about 3 years to get one. But then I got one, and I wanted to be a professional musician, but I didn't really know how. And I had seen people, other players, busking, playing out on the street for tips, and I thought to myself, I can do that. And so I did it. I went, downtown where I live, and just started playing music on the sidewalk for tips. And I took the tip money that I made that summer and put it towards recording an album. And that was my first album. And I started passing it out to local restaurants and other establishments, even some nursing homes. And then I started getting gigs playing music at these establishments. And sure enough, it snowballed and got more and more and more. And I became more and more unhappy with my job. And I just actually, I became so unhappy that they asked me to leave from my job. And I again hit rock bottom at that point. And it was really scary at that time because I didn't have, consistent income that I could count on. And so I really had to just dive in with music. And I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to do this, I've got to do it. And I just dove in. And, I think that it's a combination of, my upbringing with work being so important. And then also just having been in poverty in the past myself, that I know what it's like to be poor, and that the drive to make sure that I'm not poor, I think really fueled my success, because it was so scary that I never wanted to go back there again. And so I did anything and everything I could to make sure that I would be successful. And here I am.
And it's wonderful because you have a supporters club, and each of these supporters pay a tiny amount every month. And as a thank you, you actually then give them the opportunity to win a handpan every month as well, which I think is brilliant. I've never known anybody else do that. And that shows me sort of just how generous you are, and I've seen you playing on the sidewalks. I mean, I'm not a stalker, by the way, but I've seen your videos of you on the sidewalks, and I've seen a few of your live shows, and you've got such great interaction with the people who watch you, and you're always so very grateful for the comments that people make, and for the life that you have and just now. And you did a walk as well. You were doing this walk through this forest once. I remember watching you, and you were going through, and I'm a bit of a wanderer as well, so it was amazing to me, and I was going to wonder what you're going to see, wonder what the sunset's going to be like and everything. So you're giving other people the opportunity as well to follow you on your journey. I mean, what is it you love about just traveling about playing the pan?
Well, honestly, I think that that's another part of what's helped me be successful, is that have you ever heard of the term wanderlust?
Yeah.
So I would say that wanderlust really applies to my life as well. I just have this deep-seated desire to travel the world and go to places that are exotic and new and different, and hear new languages, try new languages, and anything and everything that goes along with it. And so honestly, a huge part of what drives me in my music is the fact that I want to travel the world. I see what I'm doing as my ticket to do that. And
well, I'm sure it is. you know, you've had some fantastic results because I've seen you playing to animals as well as to old people. So how's been the reaction for old people? Because some of these people as well have dementia, don't they? And you know that's a horrendously cruel illness. But music seems to sort of cross that bridge, doesn't it, from where they're at and that part of their memory that still remembers sound.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Um, yeah, no, I in the past, I remember performing at one assisted living facility, and I like to include my audience, even if it's at an assisted living facility for the elderly. I like to include them, and I like to have my audience help me name my songs. And so I figure they're the ones that are going to be listening to it. They might as well help me name the songs, right? So I was playing in a nursing home once, and I was just telling them about the song, and I said, you know, I don't have a name for it yet. Maybe you guys could just close your eyes and see if you see anything in your imagination, and then help me name the song afterwards. And I finished the song. An elderly gentleman, he raised his hand and he said, "Moon Singer." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome," because you know this song, it makes me think of aliens and outer space when I play it. And I asked him what his name was, and he said Henry. I said, "Oh, can I include your name in the song title?" He said, "Of course." So I ended up naming that song Henry Moonsinger. Um, so, but then there's been other times where after COVID started, after the quarantine, I couldn't go inside assisted living facilities anymore, but I could play outside of them. And I went and there was a couple times where the staff inside would open up the windows, and I would just go right next to a window and just play music outside of somebody's window. And I was working with hospice, and so there was a woman that was in her final stage of life, and I played right outside her window as she was, you know, on her way to passing away. And so it's just really such an honor that I get to be possibly the last musician that these people ever hear before they pass away. And so that's something that's really valuable to me.
Oh, I think that's such a beautiful way to see it, and what you do is, you know, it's one of the reasons I asked you to come on and have a chat with me, because I really admire what you do, and the way in which you do it as well. You're very humble, you know, and very gentle with it as well. So thank you for that, and I'm sure everybody that watches you likes to thank you. So you're saying your plans are to travel the world, and you know you're welcome here if you get to Europe. Where else pulls you? Is there anywhere else that really pulls you at the moment to try and get to?
Well, when I was in college, I did a semester abroad as an exchange student, and I really wanted to go to Egypt because I wanted to learn Arabic um, as a precursor to learn Hebrew. Um, but I ended up not getting into the program, and I had to choose a different program. So I chose China, and so I went to China, and I studied abroad in China for a semester on an island inland from Taiwan called Xiamen, and it was absolutely amazing. And it was my first real um, international experience that was like a very stark different culture, and I loved it. It was so amazing. I want to do more experiences like that. I want to get out of America. I want to go places like Nepal or India, China, Vietnam, Thailand. I guess Asia pulls me a lot, and and then Africa is really interesting too. I I find it so interesting that when I'm performing online and I see people commenting from places all around the world, um, I find it's the people that comment that are from Africa. They're the ones that really intrigue me the most and make me really curious about what it's like where they live. And yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, South America, people from Argentina and Chile uh, watch a lot. And yeah, I'm just curious. God, I would love to go anywhere, anywhere. And I guess that's part of it too, is that I'm not much of a planner, and I'm not much of a, you know, this is what's going to happen. I kind of like to be spontaneous, and I like for things to just free flow. I guess it's kind of, it shows in my music too. I don't really plan my music. It just happens. And that's kind of my life too, is I don't plan my life. It just happens.
And that's a fantastic way to look at it, isn't it? Just allowing it to happen, being in that moment. It saves such a lot of grief, rather than making plans and things go awry. So, I really, yeah, I commend you on that for sure. So, if people watching this would like to, join your supporters list or find out more about you, what's the best way to try and find you? What's the best way for people to contact you?
Well, I would say that my most popular media outlet is on Facebook. And so if you're on Facebook, you can just search Ethereal, which is Ethereal, and then the word in, and then the letter E, Ethereal in E. And it's the same on Instagram or on YouTube. I tried TikTok not long ago, but then there was some controversy about it being not a very good thing to be doing. And so I decided to do away with TikTok.
Yeah, a massive audience, TikTok, hasn't it? And it's got a massive audience with young people as well.
Yeah, but I had heard that there was some controversy about there being a lot of spyware in the app. And so I just figured I don't I got more to lose than being on there. So
well, Adam, I'll find the link, and well, I've got it anyway because I'm a member. So I'll put the links up to your pages on YouTube, and I put this up on YouTube as well. And all I can say is thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's great to hear your story and how you got to it as well. And it just goes to show me that, sometimes you've just got to believe in yourself and know that you can get to where you're going, and you're a great example of that, and that's wonderful. So thank you very much. Thank you.
That's my pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I honestly, I heard your accent and I just couldn't resist. I was like, oh my gosh, with an accent like that, I've got to make sure I talk with this lady.
Thank you.